Before you let Old Glory wave in remembrance today, there are proper ways to respectfully display the American flag. And Charles Epting of Heritage Auctions has Stars and Stripes etiquette and care tips just for us. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Erin. Thank you for having me.
So glad to have you here. So you don't have to wait for a holiday to fly the flag, but any guidelines specifically for Memorial Day?
Absolutely. Memorial Day is unique with American flags. Typically, the flag is flown at half-mast from sunrise until noon to honor our fallen soldiers. And then at noon, the flag is raised to full mast to celebrate our perseverance and to honor the living soldiers. So it's sort of a full day affair between half-mast and full mast.
I love the differentiation, though. I hope that's a word. What about bad weather, though? Anything there?
Yeah, I know we've got some bad weather in the forecast.
Yes.
If the weather is too terrible to fly a flag, it's okay to bring it inside. But if you have an all-weather flag, it is okay to fly in rain or hail or sleet or whatever you have.
Flag poles, optional? Is it necessary?
It's not necessary. You can hang a flag from the eave of your house. You can even hang a flag inside. The main thing is just that the union of the flag, the blue field with the star, should always be in a position of honor. That's typically the upper left-hand side.
Got it. Okay, we can remember that. That's pretty easy. We've known that since elementary school,
Exactly.
right? What about handling the flag? Proper ways to fold it, store it, especially when it's not in use?
Absolutely. The main thing with flags is respect. When flags are stored, they should be folded in the traditional triangle fold. This is what you see a lot of scout groups and things are very good at. They should be kept, dry, cool, especially antique flags like we've got here.
Yes.
We're dealing with a lot of antique cottons and linens and things like that that can degrade. So again, the main thing is just respect. And for older flags, archival conditions are very important as well.
Exactly. Very, very good. Now, what about using the flag as decor? We're getting into the yes, we can do it, no, we cannot do it.
Right.
What does that look like?
Typically, you're not supposed to use an actual flag as a tablecloth or as decoration or things like that, but there's plenty of flag-themed buntings and banners and all sorts of things that are totally appropriate and a big part of celebrating the holiday. So for actual flags, no. For flag-themed decorations, yes.
Okay, now I want to ask you about clothing because during this time of year, usually everything is kind of American flag themed.
Exactly.
Everything. And so what does that look like?
And this comes back to that question of respect.
Right.
The U.S. flag code says that you shouldn't wear an actual flag as clothing, but flag-themed T-shirts and other clothing are an important part of our patriotic holidays. Exactly. So again, as long as it's done with respect, it's totally appropriate.
Okay, nice. Now, you see small flags outlining sidewalks and driveways just to pay tribute. And so how do you properly display multiple flags?
Sure. The main thing when displaying the American flag, especially alongside state or city flags, is that the American flag should always be in the position of prominence, which is, when you're looking at it, either the highest flag on the pole or the furthest to the left. So as long as it's respected when being flown alongside other flags, you're totally fine.
Can I ask, is there any meaning to it being farther to the left, or is it just this is where everything kind of starts?
That's where it starts.
Okay.
That goes back to, the earliest days
prominence.
Exactly.
Layering.
Exactly.
I get it. Now, when a flag is worn out, should it be properly discarded, and what does properly look like?
So the main thing to remember with flags is that when they're ready to be retired, they need to be ceremonially burnt. And this is something that VFWs, American Legion, Scout troops often have public flag burnings. It's a respectful way to retire that flag and make sure that it's being treated with the care that is required. So
now, how do we do that in a way where we avoid disrespect? Because I'm assuming doing this in your driveway is not the way to go.
Correct. Right. That's why you go to the VFW, you go to the American Legion. They'll tell you on their website that they've got public. You can bring your flags.
They don't just do it, but they help you out in doing it as well.
Exactly. They do it in a way that again follows the rules of respect.
Exactly. Okay. Websites where people can find out so much more about proper flag care, all of the things. Where do we go?
Absolutely. You can visit the Veterans Affairs website. Has a lot of information about proper flag handling, as well as, again, those American Legions, VFWs, any of those great patriotic organizations will tell you exactly what you need to know.
Very, very good. Now, before we go, I want to make sure that Charles can maybe show us a little demonstration. Also, this flag is really cool because it only has 49 stars.
This is a 49-star flag. This was only in use from 1959 to 1960. This is the last flag before we got our current 50-star flag that is flying behind us. So this is one of the shortest-lived flags in American history before Hawaii entered the Union. But after Alaska entered the Union, this is, again, this was only in use for 1 year.
These are really cool facts, Charles, especially on Memorial Day where we're paying tribute to everyone who has sacrificed for our well-being. Can I ask you about these two right here?
Absolutely. So this flag to your right, We're celebrating the 250th birthday of America this coming July. This is a big celebration.
Yes.
Everyone's all excited. This flag was in use at the time of the 100th birthday of America. So this is a flag that dates from 1876. That was the year Colorado entered the Union. That's why it's called the Centennial State. So that's from America's 100th birthday. We're 150 years later at America's 250th birthday
You're
now.
teaching me so much this morning. I had no idea Colorado was called the Centennial State.
That was the state that entered the Union during our 100th birthday.
What about this one?
This one to my left is called a Whipple flag. In 1912, right before World War I, there was a contest to design the next official flag of the United States. And this is one of the experimental designs. The flags inside the star represent the 13 original colonies.
Got it.
The stars on the outside represent states that were added in the 19th century. And then you could add more stars as more states entered the Union.
Start to come included.
Exactly. But this was never adopted. It's only a very small number of these. Exactly. This was a prototype flag that didn't end up making it, but this is an incredible surviving example. It's over 100 years old now.
These are really, really cool. You know what? I'm excited that we have a beautiful flag indeed for the 250th.
I think we went with the right design.
We did indeed. Charles, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.